welcome to Wolf Farms. I'm Dawn, also known as Knittin' Wolf.
And I'm James, also known as Wolf Photo. This podcast is brought to you by Wolf Farms. You can find us on the internet at wolffarms.net. Every month we have a scent of the month, and we give you 25% off that scent. And so this month is torrential rain. So you can get 25% off our soaps, lotions, candles, bath salts, anything we have in that scent. This is nice.
Let them smell.
Ooh, smell. Good stuff. But
it's that scratch and sip.
Yeah, scratch and sip podcast. First ever. Just don't wear your screen out though. So.
Well, the touchpads. Why can't they make something like that? You know?
Yeah. That'll be impressive. Maybe
nice,
I better get
clean scent there. For you.
Get to work, and maybe I'll be the next millionaire because I invent the scratch and stiff iPad. And then again, maybe not. So anyway, so you could come by our shop and get a discount on that. You know, Valentine's coming up. It's still about a month away or so, but we do have a little heart-shaped what we consider our travelable candles in the little heart-shaped tin. So we can get these in the different scents that we have. I'm going to put those up in the shop. And
what was that one?
This one is Happy Birthday, I think.
Cupcake.
Yeah. Cupcake or happy birthday.
Oh.
So, but but yeah, I'm gonna put those up so you can get those ordered for a little, add into your Valentine's gifts or whatever, for the season. So, and then we'll be having a scent of the month for February that's Valentine-esque. So. But that's always still a little ways away from
Valentine-esque.
That. Aren't you in
a... I'm kind of in a blah
mood. She's like, I'm like, wake up. So, so I'm going to bring some energy to this podcast. So,
woohoo!
I'm having a good weekend. So, I'm very uppity today. So
I'm just gonna sit back and watch.
Hey, just watch me. I'll just entertain everybody. So I've got a lot of stuff going on. So, but we'll get to that. Right?
Welcome to returning viewers, and welcome to new viewers that are coming to check us out.
Thanks for joining us.
Hope you enjoy it, and you can find show notes in our Ravelry group, which is called Wolf Farms, and I've been considering just throwing them up on the blog too.
It wouldn't be that hard to do them in both places, but I don't know how many people come through the blog and how many people come through Ravelry, and it might help because people may just pick us up through iTunes and watch us from there and may not have access to the Ravelry area. I don't know if that's public or not. But...
No, you got to be a member.
Well, soon maybe we should put that on the blog.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
If you have a hard time getting to our notes because you don't participate in Ravelry.
Because I link everything in the Ravelry area.
Yeah,
I was thinking, I'm already.
Yeah, you have.
I don't know how much would link because so much of the links are Ravelry links. That's why I just do it in Ravelry. So. Yeah,
well, it's for those that are in Ravelry, then they can find them, and if those that aren't can join Ravelry, and then they can find them. It's that simple. So, yeah. I had some... Okay, let me confess. I took a swig of Diet Coke before we started, so...
Maybe that's what I need to do. I don't do caffeine, though.
Yeah, get your swig of root beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, farm happenings.
Just wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm just pushing
Before I forget, because I just saw myself... I wanted to mention what I'm wearing. This is the Seaside Fling by Susan Ashcroft. I had done this for a test knit. And here's the up close picture of it. And it was
this is what it looks like on.
It's a Be Myself yarn. Colonial wool nylon, and it was called Pearl Beach. And I still, these were supposed to look like seashells. I still think they look like cupcakes. It just looks
Well,
like
I
mint
can see-
chocolate chip cupcakes. So
It's
yeah.
the color all blending together to make stuff you like. Talk about reading into things, huh?
Well, Seaside. It was
Yeah.
called Pearl Beach. Yeah.
It's okay.
I've never worn this. I kind of had it in my gift area, but it went with the shirt, so I threw it on.
Yeah, the pre-recording
Does this
dilemma.
look good? Does this look good?
Yeah.
How should I wear it? Should I tie it? Should I, throw it around my neck? Or
She's asking the wrong person.
yeah.
Yeah, I am not t-shirt.
Yeah, if they could only see you during the week.
Yeah, well, but that's, you pick out my clothes. So.
I dress you.
Yeah.
Shirt and ties and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make me look nice.
yeah.
See, I let you do it because you're much better at it than I am, so.
Well, plus at 3:30 in the morning, I don't think you want to be picking out all your clothes.
No, because then I'd end up with one black sock and one blue sock, and I'd have a tie that doesn't match my shirt. And I'd come home and you'd be like, "What are you doing?" See, she's just trying to play it safe. She doesn't want to embarrass herself by sending me to work looking like.
You get dressed in the dark.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I did. So, anyways,
So farm happenings. I knew you wanted to go there.
oh, I'm going there.
Well, I'm going to go first because
Yeah, you've been busy on the farm.
I have been Little Miss Pioneer Woman. I need to start sewing up my calico dresses. Which Jimmy, because I wore my big apron,
Mm-hmm.
and because I have been on a bread making, dehydrating binge.
Yeah.
I even had him stop at the grocery store on the way home and get me more.
Yeah, a dozen apples, a dozen zucchini.
Yeah, because I have been dehydrating. Because I had such an allergic reaction, I can't eat anything. So,
Play it
unless
safe.
I know exactly what is in something, because once I have a reaction, I can tolerate soy to a point because they stick it in everything. There's nothing I can do, So that little bit that they throw in everything, I can tolerate. But once I've had a reaction, it blows up.
Yeah, and the hard thing is when you have a reaction, it's trying to figure out what you're reacting
Yeah.
to. So then instead of you can't just stop one thing, you have to stop everything because it's like hit a reset. You go on the bland nothing.
Water, bread, chicken, and fruit. And vegetables.
Then you wait a week, and then everything clears up, and then you can kind of start going back to what you were having before. And it's like this. You hit that limit, and once you go past that, everything messes.
So
with
I made
you,
the zucchini into zucchini chips, so I have something to munch on, and instead of chips, which I'm not supposed to eat anyways. But and then I made the apple chips because oh my god,
Yeah.
I barely get a whole because it takes about 15 hours for it to fully dehydrate to the nice crispy. And I eat the whole thing.
Yep. I'm surprised you
yummy.
didn't bring them, and you
I was going to, and
then you could have taste-o-vision too, and
Ooh.
start licking the
Licking
screen on your.
We are just what's
we're
that?
just,
Multi-sensory podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Only here.
Touch all your senses. That could sound really dirty.
Yeah, you could.
Never mind.
Yeah, I'll stop right there.
Where was I?
You're talking about your apple chips.
So
and
I
then-
did the apple chips, zucchini chips, and then I got on a bread binge because I thought I need to know what's in it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of plurked, who has a good white bread recipe because I'm allergic to wheat, so I can't have wheat. So Simona Maloney, she took a picture and uploaded it into Ravelry, and I went and put it in our What's Cooking thread of a white bread recipe. And I've done this a couple, because the first time it just didn't look all that pretty. Mm-hmm. So I had to do it again the next day because I wanted it to look pretty. And it did until it was actually baking and it went. So I will master this.
Yeah, it's trial and error.
But it is so yummy. I mean, Jimmy, I think, ate a whole loaf instantly. He goes, forget Panera, Mommy.
He told her, don't tell Dad. Don't tell Dad. Go hide the bread.
Yeah, because he just kept going in there and getting more. And
See where I rank in the household here. Hide it from Dad.
And then I made some wheat bread in the bread machine, and Jimmy said it tasted like cardboard. I can't taste it because I'm allergic to it.
I ate it. It's not bad, but the problem is my wife, who's allergic to wheat, probably hasn't made anything with that wheat bread or wheat flour that was in the cabinet for about 12 years. So the flour that was in there is like antique. And so I'm having antique wheat bread because... Yeah,
Doesn't it just get better with time? I can see Sarah Apple Blossom just having a horror-stricken face right now.
It's fermented. It's like beer bread. You know, the wheat's fermented, and so now I'm like, no wonder I ate. You know, but I am the supportive husband who will eat. You know, even if the recipe messes up and calls for 11 tablespoons of garlic salt instead of 1.
I will never let that down. That was that stupid Tennessee cookbook.
Yeah. Misprint. So, but yeah, no, actually the wheat bread is not bad. It doesn't taste like the normal store-bought. You know, I'm sure they have other things and recipes.
I don't really like the bread machine breads because they're so dense.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, you could toss it against the wall and it would break the drywall. You know, it's a hard bread.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not that hard.
Well, you're also doing the bread. You also learned a setting on our oven you didn't know about, which is bread proof. So it,
that was pretty cool.
It'll help your yeast rise because it's cold out right now. You know, so even 68, 70 in our house, you know, it's not enough heat to really get the yeast to do what it needs to do. So you put it in there and whoop, don't have to wait around all day.
Yeah, Courtney Knit in Pearl Girl. She sent me a recipe of this rosemary bread. Oh, it's so... I'm going to have to try that one next.
So, yeah, so you're having fun with that. Mm-hmm. So, now you get it down.
I got flour all over the place.
Yeah, you just have to figure out how to make it like the fluffiness. It's still...
Yeah. Well, I think it's because I took it out of when it was
proofing
rising.
And you didn't...
And I brought it out into a cold environment instead of just leaving it in there and letting the oven heat up.
Yeah.
You wanted to know this, did you?
Well, those that know will probably contact you and say, that's where you messed up. Or if you want it to rise, get your...
Well, it rose. It doubled, tripled. I mean, it looked beautiful. I nailed it, and then it pooped.
Yeah. They'll probably say,
still tastes good, so.
If you want it to rise, then you get your bicycle pump and you pump up so and you inflate it. Yeah, I'm
honoring. I think the next step would be the grinding of the...
Yeah, buying our own...
The grain.
Because then at least you know what's in it.
I know,
and, and you can make your own flours and stuff, because we're looking at the little grain mill things that you can make your own.
I think Sarah and Matt just need to move out here.
Yeah, that's it. Come on down. Help us make some bread. We'll give you some chicken eggs. We got some of those
they got
fresh.
Their own.
Oh, well,
She's Pioneer girl too.
Well, there you go. See, we're out
and
in the west.
And he's a woodworker too. So you guys, we just...
You just need to move out west. That's what pioneers do. They move west.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, get in your wagon.
Yeah, that reminds me of that Michael W. Smith song, Go West, Young Man.
Oh, yeah, see?
I'm just...
And then you end up here. And
I'm just full of bull today. And this has nothing to do with knitting.
Yeah.
You didn't come here for the knitting.
Okay, well...
On your farm happenings, you got quite a bit.
Yeah, I've actually...
Or are these your squeal like a pig?
They're a little bit of both, but I'll talk about them as farm happenings. Squeal like a pig... Yeah, I guess they're kind of both. So that all kind of both. Yeah, I was excited. Yesterday I came across a shed building type thing that because I go garage selling every Saturday, and I occasionally come across really good deals. And I came across the shed. The people are moving, and they just wanted to get rid of it. And they said you just have to take it down, and you can have it for really good price. So I
oh, come on, $5. I mean, Dang.
Okay, you're giving away my...
Well, that's the cool part.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised that that's all they wanted, but they're moving and they just, they just want to get rid of everything and
We could have had the llamas too.
Yeah. Well, they had 2 llamas that they were giving away and they were looking for a nice home, and to me,
they were messed up llamas.
They weren't well cared for, and they needed to, their hooves needed to really be trimmed, and they're feeding them the wrong feeds and just everything. I feel bad, but I don't want to. They're free to take home, but then we have to spend money to get them going. And llamas, their fiber's a lot coarser than alpacas. And if we're gonna get animals that I'm gonna have to feed on a daily basis, I may as well get something out of it. Like,
I know what feeds them anyways.
I have to buy the feed, and that's the problem. If we had it given to us, it'd be one thing. But
okay, back to your building.
Yeah, so they had llamas they were trying to get rid of, but they had this plastic shed, it's really good shape. They said, oh yeah, $5, just take it down and it's yours.
How big was it?
It's 5 by 8, and I got a little roof on there and windows and stuff. And I'll put a picture up so you can see what I'm talking about. But so I get my trailer and I load up hook the trailer up, and I steal Don's dad, and we both go over there. And so I took the thing down. And I was talking with them after, we got it broken down, and, they're still having their garage sale, and they had a bunch of trees that they had out there that someone in the morning said, oh, I'll buy them, I'll come back and get them. Well, this is in the afternoon. The person didn't come back, and so the guy says, I'll tell you what, if you want them, I'll give you the same deal that I was going to give him, because he hasn't come back, and I can't, I can't hope that he comes back. It's like, it's been 6-8 hours since he said he was going to come back. He hasn't come back.
You snooze, you lose.
Yeah, so I'm assuming he's not coming back, so I'll give you the same deal. So I got 14 fruit trees. These are brand new, still have the Home Depot tags and everything on them. 14 fruit trees for $50, which is like $3 a tree. I mean, I'm like, I'll take them, because then I'll extend.
You were much more excited than that.
Well, yeah, I'm keeping it down a notch, but yeah, no, but there were some 15-gallon fruit trees that that normally go for like $50 a piece, 40 or 50, and then there was a bunch of the smaller pot ones, but peaches, nectarines, Asian pear, plum,
Fig.
Apricot, and fig, and so we got a whole new assortment.
Hydrate.
Yeah, I know. You're on an apple binge too, so hopefully we can get some fruit this coming year. And I was thinking, okay, well, we got 3 rows of trees right now. I'll just extend those out. And then we have one tree that we lost last year from the wind. The wind it was still a younger tree that I had replaced a broken one before.
It's going to be a button tree.
This one fell over and the wind broke, and so I'm going to replace that with one of the bigger plum trees, because these are the big 15-gallon ones, so they're already pretty established. I'm going to replace that one. Then I'm going to move one. We have actually a non-fruiting tree in our line. It's one of the flowering plum. I'm going to move that out, put the actual fruiting plum, and then put 4 more trees in each row. So we'll end up with 40 some odd fruit trees. We'll just keep expanding. Every year we keep adding some more, it seems like. So, woohoo! That was my. I had a good day. My whole day was running back and forth, and then I got home and I'm like, wow. It's a nice day out. Actually, it was freezing earlier in the week, and then yesterday, this whole weekend has been really nice. I'm like, and the wind's not blowing, so I pull out the tractor and I level off an area, and so I put the shed up, because it disassembles down into pieces, and then I went and got the area all fixed up, and it's up now, and it's out by the goats, because we're going to put the hay in that building, so it's right next to them, and probably some other things, and it's close to where the alpacas would be, so if we need alpaca stuff, that'll be the place to put it. Because we have a feed holder that's up by the house, but you have to walk, the further out we keep putting animals, the longer the walk gets. So now we have a storage thing that's out on the far end, of the animals. So yeah, so that was my farm happenings. I could swear there was other things, but it seemed like this weekend.
That's just your excitement right now.
I know there was
so animated today.
Yeah, I am.
Kind of cute.
In 3D. Oh, wait, we already had that podcast. Yeah,
no more
we got with smell-o-vision and taste-o-vision.
Yeah.
So scratch here. So, what's in your coop?
In my coop. First thing is in my coop is the Mrs. Murdoch's Mittens by Brenda K.B. Anderson. And this is in my Happy Llamas.
Happy llamas?
Yeah, they weren't happy llamas.
Yeah.
That a plover bird bag that Whimsical Rain sent me. And I did I guess shoot howdy. I did more than what I thought.
Surprise, surprise.
This is hooked on G-hook. And I finished the cuff because I'd only had a little bit done. And then I connected and started the hand. I only worked on this one night. That's why I wasn't even going to show it because I didn't think I'd done that much. So.
Moving right along.
Yeah, and this is some yarn. I don't know what kind of yarn it is. Rhapsody Dark Horse Yarns. So, yeah. These will, of course, now it's getting, it still was 23 out there this
It'll
morning.
get cold. It fluctuates out here, so.
That's why everybody's always sick out here.
Yeah, we're going to get, hopefully, some rain or whatever in a week or so.
And then I didn't even do that much. I'm fluttering through my projects. Did a little bit on my Rocky Coast, which is Hannah Fedig pattern, and this is done with Lion Brand's Fisherman Wool, and started on my sleeve. And I just did, what is that, 2 rounds? 2 of the pattern repeats on the sleeve. I haven't knitted on it that much. That was just one night for an hour, I think, if that. Nice. So, yeah, size 10.5 needles, and that's my cute
your chicken marker.
My chicken girlfriend knitting marker. Kosh really sent me. Can't see it, and it's attached to the. I'm all wound up over here. I got stuff everywhere.
Yeah, imagine that. Well, the table's not as full as it
And
has
it's because
been
I got
before.
it all down here.
Ah, you need to get a bigger table.
Out of frame. And then I'm still spinning my Corey dial. Sorry, it just comes out sometimes. That Apple Blossom SF Sarah of the Apple Blossom Menu podcast gave me, and I'm almost done, but I forgot to spin yesterday. It would have been done spinning part yesterday if I would have remembered to do my spinning, but I forgot. And I'm looking at it, that's why. And it's all pinks. I showed it last week, a picture of it. It's so pretty. It is spinning so nicely. I've never spun Corriedale before, and it's an awesome spin. In fact, I've almost considered just leaving it a single and knitting a shawl out of it.
Oh, as a single? Mm-hmm. Weren't you going to
I was going
Navajo
to,
fly that?
yeah, because it's going to be a gradient, a true gradient, because it's pinks just fading.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know yet, though.
Dilemma.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Blows my skirt tail up next week. So. So then I thought, what's this picture for? So then I had to start another project because I was watching Retro Lemon, Jenna's podcast, Retro Lemon Studios, and she's having a knit-along of her pattern, Priscilla the Persnickety Pig. And so I thought, since she's having knit-along for this, I just must knit this. And I forgot something.
You forgot something.
I forgot something. Yes, I did. And this, I love this thing. This thing just, whoops. This was gifted, but yeah, I thought it was, but I wasn't. I wanted to be double sure. This was gifted to me by Bella Socks Aileen in December. So, guess you want to see it? I was first going to use my Dancing Dog Dye Works, and then I had so much of this yarn. This was CJ Kopek something Superwash BFL. There it is, and it was the Dr. Jones colorway, and I had quite a bit of this left over. And that's so pretty. So he's called my indie pig.
So that's your hand spun, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you got fiber and you spun it up. So.
Yeah. So I started knitting him. And this this dark part is some other hand spun, which was freckle face fibers. And that, look, I love, this is my favorite. Look at his cute little tail. His little squirrely tail. And it's funny because most of Jenna's patterns I have knitted in hand spun. Oh. They're just, I don't know why, they're just perfect for it. But I thought since, Punky Rooster, he's a farm dude.
You have a whole...
he needed to be.
That's his sibling, huh?
Yeah. Because I was going to do it in black like Randy, but, our pig. But, black, it wouldn't show up that well,
Well, then it matches the rooster.
And then
they're just
is,
like buddies.
Yeah, and then this is in my Mostly Munchies Silver Pumpkin piggy bag. Because, of course, it had to have
pigs.
Pig in the piggy bag. So, yay.
Cool.
So that's all in my coop.
That's all in your coop?
What's in your coop?
Well, Trouble is in my coop right now because he stopped by for a visit, huh, Trub? And you're the one that gets my Zuzu petals all dirty, furry. But I went back to work on my Zuzu petals shawl cowl. So I got a picture here. It's been a couple weeks since I showed that because I was distracted with some other things other toys. This is the Zuzu petal.
And that was a gift from Sadie Blue Ruin.
Mm-hmm. To you, and
oh yeah,
I'm making, and this will be a gift for you too. Mm-hmm. But I'm doing it out of the Madeline Tosh Tart colorway. Also,
the gifted patterns, any of the gifted patterns that you knit, you can enter in the Knitting in Circles podcast because they're having a knit along that you knit from your gifted patterns.
Your gift stash, huh?
Yeah. Which that's my goal for the whole year is to knit from. I'm interrupting.
That's okay. It's very important, valuable information.
It is, yeah.
So, Madeline.
So if you get that done, boy, you can enter it in a contest.
Here, open up. Open up. Back to my part. Madeline Tosh Tart. I like it. I only did one row. And I'll explain why. I've actually got a finished object, but I did one row. This is coming along. I'm going to spend some quality time with this over the next week because I was learning crochet and I actually finished up my crochet pattern. But we'll get to that in the Flown the Coop. But so far so good. It's coming along. I didn't mess up the one row that I did, which woohoo! Because I'm learning to read the knitting, so it's a lot easier to make sure that as I'm going, I don't lose count because I know what things need to line up because I'm able to see. Okay, this is where the purl is, and then a crochet, or knit. Wrong. Purl. So because I can read it, and that's because I have a really good teacher right here. She's telling me the finer things of knitting so I can take advantage of her knowledge. So, but that's coming along. I did one row just because I wanted to
Get back into it.
Yeah, and I actually, I'll get into that when we talk about the flow in the coop, but so that's coming along, and hopefully I can spend some quality time. I picked this up, I started knitting, and the first thing that popped into my mind was the Once Upon a Time show, because that was the series that we were watching when I was last knitting this. So I'm like, it popped back in all the pictures of the stuff. So I was kind of knitting while we were watching that show, and we finished that up a couple weeks ago. The current what's available on DVD thing. So
yeah. So now we're on to Castle. We're on season 3 when the next.
We just finished.
Comes.
Yeah, we finished season 2 last night. So we got to wait patiently.
we were like.
So now, okay, well, we got movies to watch. We got some movies to watch. So that, or I'll just have to entertain.
So flown the coop. I've got a couple flown the coops. I knit Wasabi, the Gregarious Pug by Rebecca Danger, and it just went really funky on me.
Is that zoomed in or something?
Yeah, and I don't know how to get it back out.
Okay.
So
Here.
I knit. Oh, there's a button. Whoa, man.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh, shoot.
Stop touching the screen.
There. Now you can see it better. And the face on this looks really cute. The one on mine looks kind of funky. Here's my pug. This is a baby pug. It doesn't really look like a pug. But I didn't want any plastic parts on this little guy. So,
Yeah.
But my favorite part.
The tail.
Look at the tail. Oh, I shouldn't put my finger there. That looked really bad. I got a little squirrely little pug tail.
Pretty awesome.
So, it turned out cute.
The
face is just bugging me. I don't know why.
No, probably because you
Yeah.
knit in and the nose would probably show up better if you didn't use black as the nose on that. So,
Yeah.
but
So,
next
but
time.
you got to use pug colors.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be flying the coop. And then I finished a snuggle for the snuggle knit along for Sadie, the Yarnivore podcast. So this is number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And this is crocheted, and I put the notes on my project page, and so.
Pretty cool.
Yep, there's one done.
Yep.
And if you knit a snuggle and enter it in the contest, you could win some Vulvise.
Nice yarn.
Yeah. And then we also have the Elizabeth Quinton Designs bag. And if we get a ton of entries, then I'll enter the other one that she had gifted to me.
And we have Wolf Farm
And Wolf Farm
gift
gift
certificate.
certificates.
So, yeah, depending on the amount of entries, we'll add more prizes.
And Amanda Elizabeth Quinton is on Etsy. And she's got some bags up for sale. So that was really nice of her to donate a bag for the prize. So you can go over and support her if you would like. They're sewn really nice. And
Pretty cool.
yep,
Was that your flown the coop?
that's mine.
I've actually got a flown the coop. I've got a snuggle that I did. So this is a little. It's my first attempt at crochet. So let me back it up a bit. Probably could use a little blocking. Still trying to get the the hang of it, but the dog won't care. It'll still be snuggleable, even if it's not completely square. But yeah. So, and the funny thing is, I was working on this last night, and Dawn had gone to bed, and I was trying to make it.
Well, you did like what, 10 inches of that.
Yeah,
thing
you
just
took
last-
my marker off because last week I was
sorry.
like here, and then I've done like all of that in the last
you did
week.
a
So,
lot.
but last night I was working on it, and I got to the point. I was using 2 colors, and I got to the point where it's like, and one of the yarns was like almost nothing left. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And I was planning on doing like another couple more rounds because I was doing double crochet, so it was, going quicker, and I was, getting some size to it. And then I ran out of yarn, or at least knew I would run out of yarn. I couldn't get back. So I was able to just barely finish a single crochet across the end, and I like ran out like 3 stitches from the end. I'm like, so I just left enough to weave that in, and then finished up with the other color. But so yeah, that's my first crochet project, and it's all done. It's flown the coop, so that'll go to some doggy. I'll have her cat or whatever is it dogs?
She has both. It's called Dalmatian Rescue, but she has all kinds. So.
Yeah, this is going to a local rescue, and she'll come pick them up. But, yep, so
well, you got
that was...
plenty of time to do another one.
Yeah, that actually went, once I get the hang of it, I was struggling at first because I was doing it too tight, I think.
Oh, yeah, you could hear that screech of the acrylic. Ooh, just sends chills.
Yeah, so I... took a deep breath and relaxed a bit, and it went a little easier. I wasn't when I was pulling the hook through. I wasn't grabbing everything. It was. I got the hang of it, and so I could just kind of, crochet machine. Goes a lot faster than knitting, though, I must say. So that was my fun. The coop, yay! That's why I could start working back on the shawl cowl. Mm-hmm. So, and that'll be my. I think main project for now until I finish that up. Then I can pick up something else. I got a toy pattern gifted to me a week and a half ago, and I may try a toy or something. So, learn different things.
Yep. So farmers market, because I do the farmers market because I'm not really going to market. I've kind of made that decision this year that I'm not going to buy just single skeins because I have enough of that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't have a big stash. Like, to me, it's getting too big. It just bothers me. So, unless it's like for a sweater quantity, because I only have one sweater quantity of yarn. So,
well, you kind of buy for the project when you're going to do the project. So, because
I want to get back to that.
Your taste kind of changes a little over time, your color preferences. It's always pink and green are good, but you've been leaning towards
neutrals.
Yeah, browns and that sort of thing. So, who knows? When you actually pick up the pattern and are ready to do it, you can buy your yarn then. So that really doesn't count for fiber, but I got enough of that too until I get more of that done, because I have been really drooling over this shop. It is Greenwood Fiber Works, and she is in Utah. Oh, when we visited your mom, we could have swung on by.
So she's on Etsy, and her name is Carolyn, I think. Yep, Carolyn. She's Greenwood Fibers on Ravelry, and she has a Ravelry group also. And they're just this is the paper roses and just beautiful fibers with bombic silk, and there's hand-carded bats and merino, mohair, nylon. I mean, just beautiful. Colorways.
Yeah, you like the bright and vibrant colors.
Yeah. So she's got a lot in her shop and a lot of beautiful. There's a couple of them that are just that tropical snow I'm gonna make this one bigger because this is it's stunning. I mean, just look at them colors. It's just gorgeous. So check her out, and that's the one I've been really, really drooling over. Like, ooh,
someone's gonna buy that now.
You might need to come live with me. I know, go buy it, and then I won't. So that's one shop in the farmer's market. The next one is called Ear Adornments, etc., and this is Jackie. She's Flancers on Plurk and Ravelry, and she's in Washington, and she has earrings, stitch markers. She has the smaller stitch markers and the larger stitch markers, so depending on what your needle sizes or your preferences are. She's got 58 things in her shop. And, well, let me show you the ear adornment. But yeah, she's got some holiday ones, you know, the shamrocks and the sweetheart and be mine, and she's got these cute ones which would go good for limnit crochet. She's got a bird-like bags that has kites on it. So Lauren, that would match your kite bag. That's the first thing.
You're shopping for other people here.
Yeah, I wish I was rich, you know, because I always see things that certain people like, oh, caffeinated Gert, you know, because it has to do with coffee. That would be perfect for her, or, you know, it'd be
fun to
just be able to buy different, you know, Jet Girl. Oh, I saw a little airplane thing, or, you know, it's, you know, you see the different little things that different people, you know, I Rock Knits wrote me, and she had found stitch markers for you, you know, and, you know, it's neat to see the different little things that would go for different people, you know.
Yeah.
So, yep, go give Jackie's shop a look. She's got, you know, the little, what are those little round ones? I don't know if you call them snagless or whatever. I love those ones.
Yeah,
you like those, the little hoopy. So, those are 2 different shops y'all might want to go peruse.
Yeah.
So, see, I just it's window shopping.
Yeah. You got glass on your iPad, so you just...
Yeah, but then it could get dangerous.
Yeah,
It's so easy to click. Buy now. Go to PayPal. Click confirm. It's like Monopoly money. It's not real. So.
You're funny.
I know. Squeal like a pig. Squeal like a pig is Brittany, which is B-Wing. She makes the most amazing, beautiful cards. Just the cards just make me smile. She's so talented. I'm going to show you the pretty cards she made. And how she has time, because she's got little ones to do this, I have no idea. Pretty little outside. Sent me this package because she asked, you know, if I needed any more sock scraps. Oh yeah, I did work on my sock yarn blanket. I only did one square, so I didn't even bother to bring it over here, and that was with Knit Graham's yarn. But Brittany had asked me if I needed any more of the scraps, and I go, well, I love having my friends in the blanket. You know, it's going to be a hug from my friends, you know, when it's all done, and I think of each one, you know, because Manda Knit Psycho has a lot of them, and I know exactly which ones are hers, and, you know, and Mad 79.
It's like a little memory blanket kind of thing.
You know, and then projects I've made, and I just love that blanket. It's my forever blanket. I didn't fully open this because she wrapped this so pretty. This, when I opened the box, this is how it looked. And it has this cute little key ring with the little yarn on it. So, yeah.
And it's chock full of
chock full. And these are not just, these are huge balls, Brittany. Look at all these beautiful balls. I know it's there, reflecting. So this is so awesome. And then I'm gonna, because I'll have some extra, I'm going to start crocheting, just start doing a huge granny square. Just let it keep going. Yeah. And
keep then tying in the next color.
And then also into my Hexie Puffs, because, you know, I don't have enough insane projects here that I'm doing. So
you're just so bored, you gotta...
Thank you, Brittany. I love those. So, yep, now Brittany will be part of my blankie.
Yep.
Oh, I wasn't done, was I? So, we're on to you. I can shut up now.
Yeah, you can take a break. Picking on the farm. All right. Well, one of the things I want to talk about, I wanted to get into kind of the, photography basics and things that, I've touched on before, but I wanted to kind of do more of a, series on photography stuff. And I thought the first thing that I wanted to talk about was getting to know your camera because,
Getting to know you. Getting to know.
With musical interludes by Knitting Wool. But, depending on the camera you have, it's good to take the time to actually learn the settings that are in there because there's, from the basic, you got your phone. How you like that? My phone case is a camera. So got your phone that can take pictures. And this actually has some settings. You may not be aware of it. You may just click the button. But even the cameras in the phones have some settings you might be interested in. And be unaware that you can change some of the stuff that's on there. Like the iPhone has options for grid. If you wanted a little grid to turn on the display to help keep your lines level. Those are the kind of settings
Is that what that's for?
Yeah, it's the
I
rule
always
of thirds.
Accidentally bump it.
No,
oh, crap.
That grid that's on the iPhone camera is the rule of thirds, which I talked about before. Plus, it's also could be used for landscape to make sure that you get things level. To make sure you're aligning your horizon in the camera.
I'm not a level person.
I know. That's why you need the help. But even the most basic camera that comes with a thing that is not a camera, it's your phone, and the intent of this is not specifically for the camera. Your little bit basic point and shoot camera. This has got more settings to your, the camera I just bought. You get 35 millimeter SLR and it's got a book. You got a book this thick and you go through and you got to read all this. I just got a new camera, so I actually am reading through all of the stuff to figure out the different settings.
You are?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, because I got to know my tools. So, but I kind of group the settings into 3 categories. On a camera, you have settings that you'll use all the time. This is, the different program modes on the camera, flash on and off, those kind of things. There's a group of settings that you'll use regularly, and those are the ones that you probably know how to use. There's 2 other categories of settings that you may not necessarily either be aware of or have forgotten about or are unconcerned about, but it's good to know that they're there. You have some settings that I consider, you kind of set them once and it sets up your camera to act the way you would like it to act. It's kind of like your configuration. I would classify it as configuration settings. Do you want the camera to beep when it gets focused in on what's in the little focus point there? Do you want it to beep? Do you want it to flash? Do you, the different ways it handles naming the file? So some cameras get to the point where you could tell it how you want the file named when it puts it onto the memory card. You can tell it if you want to reset every time you pull the card out. You want to reset the numbering on the pictures. All of these things, really, you set them once because that's kind of how you want to interact with the camera. And once you get them set, that's, that doesn't usually change. You get comfortable. I just got this new camera, and I had set up my other camera that I've been using for years one way. And I got the new camera, and I started using it. I'm like, this is bugging me. It's not. So I bust out the book, and I'm like, okay, here. So I got to go in and go through the menu and say, okay, now it's beeping when I get focus, because I like to have that audible, confirmation that what I'm focusing on when I'm using the camera is in focus. So beep, but those are things that you set once and they basically will stay there. Then there's kind of the settings that you could change, but they don't need to be set that often, such as the different file format types. That's one that you could set and leave, or you could play with depending on the reasoning and what your purposes are. the ISO setting. There's just different, those kind of settings. Each camera is different. That's why I'm kind of recommending you take the book, and just read through it once. I mean, you can scan over it, but it's good to actually have the camera there, and when you look at it, play with it, set it, and see what it does. Because you may not know whether you like that or not until you actually use it.
Sometimes it's hard to find the zoom.
The zoom on
a camera.
Well,
because I was watching Round the Twist. Karen, they just went to Hawaii, Maui for their honeymoon, and she forgot her camera and her flip, and so all she had was her cell phone, and she didn't know how to make it zoom.
Oh, okay.
So that.
Yeah, and that's like I said, that kind of goes with reading through the manual once. When you get it, usually people will get the camera and they'll learn the basics, because that's you get a new toy and you want to use it, so. You figure out where the shutter button is and the power button. So you turn it on and you take pictures.
Because I think the zoom on the iPhone 4 is different than what it was on the 3.
Yeah, I know some of the...
so it's hard to... If you don't... I read.
Google. No, I'm just kidding. No, so if you get stuck, Google is a good tool. But like I said, the manual, you may be unaware of some of the settings that your camera is capable of doing. Because, like I said, the old days, the film cameras, even the most advanced camera had very limited settings that you could change. Because it didn't have that electronic component that you would need to worry about. The high-end professional film cameras... More of the professional came out of the quality of build, and so the cheaper cameras use cheaper parts, plastic gears as opposed to metal gears, and the professional cameras had a wider range of settings. Digital cameras now have added that extra layer of complexity even to the most basic consumer camera, and so. The amount of settings that you have on just a standard camera is amazing, because they can pack all sorts of different options in for you to try out. But it's good to just get the manual and go through it and play with it, and you might find something that helps you out. I'm going to kind of go through some of the more key settings that I think you may not understand fully in more detail in next episode of our podcast. I'm going to cover ISO settings, the film speed, or the settings on ISO, what that does and the purpose of that, where that comes into play, and the pros and cons to adjusting that setting. And then the episode after that, I'm going to cover the file format, file size issues, and that sort of thing. So I've kind of got a game plan for down the road and what I'm going to cover. But for now, just take the time and read through and just figure out what your camera can do. And I think you'll get a benefit out of that, because you may learn that it could do more than what you were even picturing. Or there may be helpful things that you can use, like the grid format on the iPhone. You may not have known that you can use that, and it helps you keep your picture straight.
No, I just think, oops, I hit the wrong button.
And like I said, the grid on that is also the rule of thirds. I have a talk about that on a Picking on the Farm, episode a while back, but where the rule of thirds comes into play and just composition and stuff. So there's things like that I think you can benefit from just by reading through the manual. So for now, get to know your camera, read the manual, figure out what it can do, and then I'll talk about some of the specific settings that you can adjust, and you'll at least understand the pros and cons to doing it one way or the other. So I'm gonna flick it back to you.
You just like saying that.
I know. You started it.
I know. In the arena, I've already mentioned the Snuggle project and with the Yarnivore podcast and what you could win. Mm-hmm. But I also wanted to mention that and give a big thank you and applause
Yes.
and high fives, and
We're getting some
we're
entries
getting
in.
some
and
entries, and I wanted to give them
a
all a
shout
shout out. And so Puffy Griffin Claw, she entered one. Stitches Please entered one, which she used Fun Fur, which was a great idea.
Oh.
I thought, ooh, I have to remember that. I gotta go find it, but I think I'm gonna say Keen Ribbit. It's Qeen. I don't know if it should be Queen Ribbit, but this is how it's spelled. Keen Ribbit. She got a cute avatar. And she did one. Blogless Carla did one. Bright D did one. And Alida Casey did one. So yay, guys.
Thank you.
And I was mentioning to James, since a couple of them did the big old honkin' ones for the big dogs, the 36 by 36 or 40 by 40. So we were thinking when we do that, we're going to, because I'm just going to make a page of numbers, how they've been entered. And if they did a big one, I'm going to put their name down twice.
Yeah, you get double entries for
the...
because if you think, at 36 by 36 is 4 times the work of an 18 by 18.
Yeah.
That's
or 14 by 14 is the smallest.
Yeah,
so.
like I said, so we'll give you extra credit for the extra size ones, because there are big dogs out there that like those. So we will give you 2 entries towards the prizes. And,
I thought that would be better, more.
Yeah, it's more fair, I guess. Seeing that they could technically go and make 4 of them for the time it took to make one. So we'll give you a little extra bonus for that.
Because there's a Great Dane rescue here too that I could, because I'm going to do a big one. So that's my next one. I already got the yarn out to do a big old honking one. Big old honking one. The other thing in the arena is I wanted to mention a new well, it's not a new podcast. She's on our blog, so I forget about it, because usually I'll just go with what's on my Downcast app. And it's the Stitches Please podcast, which she's the one that entered the furry snuggle. And that's Courtney, and she Stitches Please on Ravelry. I didn't find a Ravelry group for her podcast, but you can find her podcast. I know I had it written. It's stitchesplease.blogspot.com. I will link it in the show notes. I'm pretty sure that's what I know I had it linked. I must not have Control-V'd it on there because it's not there. I'm like, oh man, where'd it go? And, she talks about her knitting and spinning. She hasn't been crocheting that long. And so
imagine that.
Yeah. 2010, I think it was that she. So, and on her profile, it says she had an Etsy store, but the link didn't click over. So I didn't find that either. So I'll have to find out about that. So go give her a watch, and if you'd like. And
cool.
So that was my new one this week, and so
awesome.
Yep. So what the duck? That's one of the thing is to make a big old honking one. I'm trying to see the time.
Yeah, we're good.
So I shouldn't be rambling on and on. I thought, I can keep going now. You got me started.
That's why I had to cut my picking on the farm. You can't shut me up if I start talking about photography. Keep it small.
Yep. So.
Okay, so.
Another thing that is real quick that's been sucking up. I know that I've been asked to mention different apps, and this is called, and this is all thanks to Sock Bunny. This is the Heyday app. I am so addicted. See, this is my farm. Welcome to Knitting Wolf's farm. It is such a fun game. It's like Farmville. Ooh, I've got a lot of stuff to be doing. But I've got to show you these pigs. See, right now, look how fat they are. And they're just kind of laying down. Well, if you touch it, there's this shrinker. And you pull it over here and watch. It shrinks the pig and it makes it into bacon. I get quite a hoot. And then he's like all skinny and he's going, feed me. You gotta feed
Time
me.
suck. That's what that's called. Reminds me of the Webkins. Jimmy used to be into Webkins, and they had that type of thing where
you can see the whole little farm.
Yeah. So when our chickens are out there tapping at the window, hey, feed me, and she's out playing with their iPad. You know what's going on.
So yeah, that's my time suck. I tried the Sims thing because I know Knitting Blooms and Sock Bunny are really into that. First thing they wanted me to do was make her go pee, and I'm like, how is this fun?
So TMI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy a toilet and make her go
I know.
She took forever to pee too.
That app has been around it's based on programs from a long time ago, but Civilization and SimCity and all of that, those are all, been around for a long time.
Yeah, I'm more of a farm girl.
Yeah, farm. Anyway, so let's thank you for everybody that's left reviews and stuff. So take some time, leave reviews for your favorite podcasts. That helps encourage us, and if you want, you can get a free podcast button, Wolf Farm Podcast button. If you place a paid order at Wolf Farms, just ask in the comment area for your free podcast button. We'll throw that in with your order when we ship it. And I think that's about it.
So until next time,
let's get cracking.
That's your part.
Hatch a knit.
Bye,
Bye, y'all.